Yes, you. Welcome to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast, a podcast for people who want to disrupt their lives for a good reason, to make it count. I'm your host, Jen Glantz, and every week I'll drop a new episode with stories from real people just like you, who woke up one morning and decided to make big changes, starting with small things. We'll cover topics like entrepreneurship, love, failure, and self-care. Hey, you're not getting any younger, so let's make this an adventure. Ready? This week's episode is brought to you by Odd Jobs Newsletter, the place to go to find careers that don't quite fit inside of cubicles, learn about side hustles, full-time gigs, and remote work that you can start ASAP that are unusual but super cool. Last week we talked about sleep. The week before we talked about dogs. We even talked about how to get paid just because you're funny. I've got your back. Check it out, www.youareodd.com. It's a free newsletter, www.youareodd.com. Hey, any youngers, it's me, your host, Jen Glantz, back with another episode of the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast. It's getting hot in here. I had to turn my air off for these podcasts. I've mentioned that many times before. And if you've listened to the show for long enough, you also will know that I am a sweater. I sweat so easily. I sweat even when it's 0 degrees. So I'm sitting in this room, no air, super, super hot. But that is the life of a podcast host, and that is what I am. And guess what? We are inching closer and closer to our 200th episode. Oh my goodness gracious, can you believe it? I'm going to make it happen this year, and I have such a big surprise for you for the 200th episode. I can't wait. I'll give you a hint, and the hint is that somebody who was a guest on the last 200th of our episodes is coming back. And this time, they're going to be interviewing me. So I won't give you any more details, but it's going to be an awesome 200th episode. Cannot wait to finally get there and put that out there for you. But I am working really hard to hit that 200 review mark. So if you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts or you have access to Apple Podcast app, pretty please open that up, scroll all the way down, click 5 stars, leave us a review. It would mean the world. Reviews matter to us podcast hosts because it allows us to get more people to find this show, and it allows the show to continue to thrive and vibe, and that is what we are here for today. So thank you so much for doing that. We are here in Brooklyn, New York. We decided to stay here another year of our lives and sign our lease. So we're here. We're going to stay in this 500 square foot apartment. It's been crazy because I decided that if we're going to stay here, my only caveat is that I want to redecorate. But I can't even redecorate because the place is so small that finding furniture that fits in this place is really tough. For example, I'm trying to find a dining room table, but every dining room table I like is way too big, which in a normal size apartment or home, it would be small, but here it takes up way too much space. I'm literally looking at furniture that fits in a dorm room. That is what I'm Google searching right now to be able to find furniture that would actually work in this place. So I'm on this whole redecorating kick, and I realize that this is most likely the last year we're going to be in this apartment, which makes me sad. I love our little 500 square foot home, but we probably cannot stay here another year of our lives after this year. So I'm not trying to get furniture that's expensive. The other day, Adam and I walked into a CB2 furniture store. I've never been in that furniture store before, but when we were in there, I was just checking price tags. Like, I wasn't even looking at the furniture. My head wasn't even eye level. It was down below searching for tags, and I was just lifting price tags, looking at how much things cost in that store. I'm somebody who grew up going to TJ Maxx and Home Goods and shopping discount clearance racks. That's my bread and butter. That's what I love. And here I am in this CB2 just looking at price tags, and I could not believe what I saw. I mean, they're selling lamps for like $500 that I can get at Home Goods for $60, and it's pretty much the same lamp. So after doing that, I realized I'm trying to redecorate on a budget, which is going to mean definitely looking at thrift stores, definitely sticking to Home Goods, and definitely looking for lots of coupon codes. But I thought about, instead of redecorating, the first thing we did was take everything off the walls, put all of the furniture in the middle of the apartment, and then just replace things. Sometimes it's not about finding new stuff, it's about moving stuff around. And just doing that made like a humongous difference. We moved some pictures on the wall different places, we changed up locations of mirrors, and I already feel better about the space that we're in. So stay tuned. Maybe I'll post some Instagram photos on my Instagram at Jen Glantz, but I'll definitely be keeping you posted on this redecoration saga that I'm currently involved in here. I recently wrote this article for CNBC about passive income, and that's what I wanted to talk about today because about 6 years ago, I was laid off from my full-time job. And when I walked out the door after my boss telling me that I was getting laid off, I just felt this sense of, Jen, I don't want to ever work for somebody else again. But to make that happen, to live in New York, to pay all of my own bills, I realized that I was going to need multiple streams of income because relying on just one job or just one business of my own is super, super risky. If my only income came from Bridesmaid for Hire, I would be in a lot of trouble, especially in a year like the pandemic when weddings were paused. But luckily, I have about 10 different streams of income that I make every single month. So my income is very varied, which is both good and stressful. But one of the things I'm a big advocate for is passive income, which means making money practically while you sleep. And I know that sounds like a scam or, something that's like not legal, but no, passive income is something that you can do in a wide variety of ways. So I want to talk about a couple of ways that I've personally used passive income before and ways that maybe can benefit you. There's lots of other ways to do passive income that I haven't done, so I won't touch on those. But a big way that a lot of people enjoy is through real estate, is through renting out places, renting out even a room in their house to make some passive income, or having a rental property and making passive income that way. I mean, that's a very popular way. But I'm going to share with you some of the ways that I've actually generated passive income in the past 6 years. I have 4 different passive income streams that help bring in a couple $1,000s a month. And not only am I going to share them with you, but I'm going to try to give you every single resource I can to help you figure out how you can get started as well. But I do recommend maybe looking more into passive income sources. And if you don't have any right now, consider that a goal for next year. How can you get one passive income stream? There's lots of very easy ways, and I'll share with you some today. The first way I've been doing passive income since 2017 was by selling online courses. So I sat down in 2017 and I made a list of skills, strengths, unique experiences, and accomplishments, things that I knew I was an expert at that other people wanted to learn. I narrowed that list down and I created courses on those topics. These were courses that I made once, meaning I sat down, I wrote the content, I shoot the videos for it, I make the entire course in one time period, and then I sell it forever. Meaning even right now, people can go and buy that course and I don't necessarily have to do anything except check in on the back end, make sure everything is working, but I'll still make the money while they're still buying the course. So that's one way of creating passive income. So how could you do that if you want? First, make a list of what you think you can teach others. Second, start to map out how the course would be. Think about how to make it unique, actionable, and engaging, and then use a platform to host the course. I use a platform called Thinkific, but there's so many others out there that you can use. You could even host it on your website. You can host it through Google Drive if you wanted. That's how I honestly started. This is so embarrassing, but the first course I ever made in 2017, I made through Google Docs, and I would just share the Google Doc with people, and that was the course. And that sold really, really well. It was super unprofessional, no videos. It was just a Google Doc course. Thank you for everyone who bought that course. We have since upped our game, but you can start there. So that's number 1. Number 2 is to look into self-publishing a book. So when we talk about books, people think books have to be 300 pages and fictional and all these things, but you can sell shorter books. You can sell like a 50-page book that's all about a certain topic you're an expert in. So let's say you are an expert in home organization. You can write a 50-page guide with all of your top tips of home organization, publish the book, put it up on Amazon, list it for $5.99, and every time someone buys it, that's passive income that goes straight to your pocket. There's a lot of easy ways to do this. So number 1, you have to write the book. You have to think of the topic, write the book. That's the hardest part. Number 2, you can format the book for free on a program called Reedsy, Reedsy. I use that. I love it. And then after that, you would put it up on Amazon through Amazon CreateSpace. you would give Amazon a piece of the profit, all of that, but the rest of the money would be all yours. And then you could have a self-published book, you could become an author, and you could make passive income through that. Now, of course, marketing the course, marketing the book, that's a whole other story because you're going to need to get people to buy it, but you can worry about that as you do it. Just choose maybe one of those ideas and get started. Next is if you have any kind of platform, any kind of social media following, newsletter following, anything like that, you can consider becoming an affiliate with brands. So you can become an Amazon affiliate, you can do reward style affiliate, you can become an affiliate for so many different programs. And basically what you do is you can get links through them of products and things that you like and share those links with your friends and followers. And if they click that link and buy anything, you get a piece of their income. So I've been an Amazon affiliate for a lot of years, and every time I recommend a book or a product that I like, that I buy, that I use my Amazon affiliate link. So if you click on that and buy it, I'll get 3% of the sale. So becoming an affiliate is another way of making passive income. An easy way of making passive income is through putting your money in a savings account that has a high yield rate, so a high yield interest rate. So back in the day, I had all of my money in a bank account that was making no interest at all. I was making like maybe $10 a year. And then I moved my money to another bank that had a higher high yield savings account interest rate that was a little bit higher than what I was making. And I started going from making $10 a year to making a couple of $100 a year. So research banks out there, see what the interest rate is, and maybe consider opening an account, a high yield savings account at a bank that will give you a better interest rate. That way your money that's just sitting in a savings account could make you passive income. Those are my 4 ways. There's many other ways, but if you're still listening to this episode and you've listened to my finance chat, my biggest takeaway is research passive income streams that you can start doing that are not that risky. Some are completely risk-free. That way, if anything happens to your income, or you need an infusion of cash for your emergency fund, or you just want to have a little bit more money on hand, there you go. That's how you've done it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, my friends. Check out the newsletter, Odd Jobs newsletter, www.youareodd.com. I'll see you back here next week with a brand new episode. All my love, Jen Glantz. Hey, you. Thank you for listening to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast. There are hundreds of thousands of pods out there, so thank you for listening to this one. You can find the show notes for this week's episode up on our website, anyyounger.com. Subscribe, rate, and review the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast on iTunes so that other ears around the world can listen too. Oh, and join our secret You're Not Getting Any Younger Facebook group, where over 1,000 people are talking about how to disrupt their lives, for a good reason, to make it count. Until next week, all my love, Jen Glantz.